Hello, welcome to Have a Tea with me. My name is Chris. You're watching the Lesson Jigsaw channel. We are here for English language conversation practice. If you are learning English, you need to practice your speaking and conversation skills. We are here for you. All you need to do is to click on the link that's will be in the chat very shortly. If you click on that, you can come on through to the studio and we can have a conversation about whatever you like to talk about. Yeah, that's about it in a nutshell. We're here every day, Monday to Friday at 12 o'clock Universal Time. So we're here for practice for you. You can see us on or streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and also Twitter. You won't be able to see the link if you're watching on Twitter, but certainly on all the others, you can see that. So I'll put the link in there in just a moment. Let me just do that. So, whoops. Okay. So click on this link to chat during the live stream. I know I should have done this before, but it's the way it is sometimes. It's the way it is sometimes. Okay, so you will see that that link there. If you click on that, you can come on through and chat with us. As I say, whatever topic you feel like talking about. If you need to practice, let's say a particular situation, you have something coming up in the future, of course, in the future, and you needed to practice that or practice saying some vocabulary that you've learned, perhaps, and you need to just try and find situations where you can use that. So to make it feel more, let's say, comfortable, or to put it inside the body or inside your mind a bit more, so to be able to use that language and vocabulary more practically. Certainly, as an opportunity for that as well. Whatever you like. If you just want general chit chat, let's say, so general conversation when you first meet someone, something along those lines. Again, we can do that as well. So whatever you prefer or need to practice, that's why we're here. Basically, that's why we're here. Yes. What else should I tell you? Okay, so it's 12 o'clock Universal Time every day, Monday to Friday. Now, while if no one else is here, I'm just gonna chat to myself. Basically, is what it is. As you do, we could say. It's a nice little expression. Let's get that down. As you do, as you do. I guess it's a comment that you would sort of say when you do something, so it sounds a bit weird that you do something, and so you sort of say it in a fun way, in a fun way. Let's say. Okay, so as we always like to say as well, so if you're ever thinking, okay, I don't know what to talk about, or I don't know what to say, again, that's practice. You need to practice, and we want you to feel more confident speaking English in different situations. But if you're always thinking like, I don't know what to say, how can I talk about whatever subject? I think the easiest thing to do is to try and think of the question words. So who, what, when, where, why, how, and whatever question structure you feel is necessary. And then look at a picture, a story, a report, or whatever you're seeing around you in real life. Could be thinking about like maybe a movie or a TV show that you saw, a story that you heard from a friend, something like maybe a book you've read, could be in a newspaper or from a magazine. Whatever the source of the idea for the conversation, and you're thinking, oh, okay, I don't know what to say, start thinking about the question words. Ask yourself some questions and then answer those questions. And so start giving details. And then from that, like you would normally, I'm sure, in your native language, a conversation can develop, and it might go in all different sorts of directions. You know, it's not just necessarily like question answer like that, but sometimes you'll remember something, or there'll be a memory, or you want to give an opinion, or you want to know other people's opinions, or perhaps you want to. Here's a nice expression. Perhaps you want to play devil's advocate. To play devil's advocate. And when you play devil's advocate, oh, okay, it's the wrong apostrophe. There we go. If you want to play devil's advocate, that's just basically there might be a situation, and what you want to do is present an alternative viewpoint or argue from an alternative viewpoint. When I say argue, it's just present the opinions from an alternative viewpoint. And maybe some people are presenting their viewpoint because it's unpopular or for some reason not liked, but you think it would be good to have that side or that perspective presented and discussed. Yeah, because who knows what ideas can come from that. So to play devil's advocate is you present that perspective, even if you don't believe it yourself, of course, but it's just playing that role. And I guess the devil, is seen as like bad. Yeah, so maybe you present the case for the bad side, so to speak, like that as well. So to present the case or the argument or the ideas, the opinions from so we're going to put this in inverted commas, from the bad side. From the bad side. What did I say? I can't remember now. It's gone through. Okay. Well, anyway, so yeah, to present the case. Okay, so even if you don't believe it, again, that apostrophe. That's the problem having two different apostrophes on the keyboard, even if you don't believe it. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do. Okay, I should remind you. I forgot to say it's sitting there all the time on the screen. I did mention that this show, we're going live at 12 o'clock Universal Time each day, Monday to Friday. If you're watching the replay, and hello if you are watching the replay, nice to have you with us. If you're watching the replay and you're thinking, that's not a great time, I can't do it for whatever reason, I'm taking the kids somewhere, or I work at that time, or I'm sleeping at that time, or just whatever at that time, you can send us an email, chatonlessonjigsaw@gmail.com. That's chatonlessonjigsaw@gmail.com. Let us know where you are in the world, what time zone you're in, and some times and days in general where it might be better for you to practice the conversation skills. And we can see if we can arrange a live stream for that particular time, and we'll see if we get a time that's good for you and for me. So that's open to you as well. Okay, so that's that out of the way. Okay, now so we were just talking about the question words and that sort of thing. So one of the, I guess, common things to look at would be newspapers or websites when you're thinking of ideas to talk about. And of course, if you go to a news website, of course they're going to be talking about news, and news sites, I guess in general, in most countries, I suppose, the news tends to be let's say bad stories or sad stories, or stories where, I don't know, humanity isn't having the best day, let's say. And so, of course, at the moment, one of the big stories for the last few months at least, in terms of headline news, is of course what's going on in Ukraine. You can see here that's very much dominating the major things. Also, they're talking. It seems they've got a bit of a mix here. So they've got like current, or well, three stories in relation to into Ukraine. They've got a travel story asking if Spain has a holy grail, and then a football story or sports story talking about a manager who has been sacked. So sacked meaning they've lost their position. So what are some other words we could use instead of sacked? So alternatives to sacked. So we can say to sack, to fire, I guess. And I guess the popular or common other one, I say popular, but popular common other one is to dismiss. What do I say? One S. Okay. Yeah. So to dismiss. And now all of these are when the company tells the employee, we don't need your services anymore, is one way to say it. Yeah, so the person is sort of removed from the company in a way of speaking, which is different, I guess. And the opposite way is to resign. And so that's when the employee decides in a general sense. So let's say the employee decides. And of course, when we say like decides, there could always be lots of little stories inside whatever happens, but in a general sense. And we say the company or the business decides. And to resign, I guess with resign, you have to be careful, because sometimes if you see this with sports in particular, but they'll also, and normally they hyphenate it. They re-sign, for example, they re-sign a player as an example. So that means sign them again. So this is the other re-sign. So when you have like when we have repeats, it's like to do again. Or if you reread something, it's like you read it again. So for example, so to reread. And what's the reason for the hyphen? I guess it's easier to read. If you're reading it, if you see to resign a player, you would get confused, and you need to think about it. And then from the rest of the context, with the way the words are, you could work it out. But certainly, it helps you. And then, of course, with this, it helps with the pronunciation. Then you wouldn't say to resign a player; you would say to re-sign a player. And to resign and to re-sign a player. But yes, certainly with hyphens, it can be easier to read that sort of stuff. Okay, so that's what's happened here. So it's Burnley. We see with a capital B. So that's going to be the name of the club where the manager was, with 8 games left. So left is remaining. Okay, and then so what other headlines do they have? So they're talking about what's happening in Shanghai. Okay, and there's conflicts or clashes here, they've said, in Shanghai over or about COVID lockdown evictions. So residents have been forced from their homes as apartments are turned into quarantine centers. Oh, okay. Wow, that's pretty dramatic. That's even just on the face of it, without going into the detail, that seems like an alarming thing. Because I remember, I'm not sure if you remember the images when, I guess around the beginning of COVID, how they built those temporary hospitals in China, and they put them up in days, I think. Well, I don't even know, I can't remember if it was even less than a day, but it was like a very, very short space of time. I think maybe like 2 or 3 days, but it was like ultra fast, ultra fast, for a building anyway. Like even if it's like a month, it's fast. But I'm pretty sure it was days. So it surprises me. I mean, I guess it depends on how many people there are, but it surprises me how this would work. I don't know if, because it sounds as though they just go and say this apartment block is going to be, we need it, so you have to go to requisition, if you like. Let's get that out of there. So you requisition. So you say, okay, this is for us. Sometimes you might see it in the movies, where like the police stops a car from the general public. They stop a car and they say, police, we need this car. And they requisition it. So they say we need to use it now as an emergency sort of thing. So I guess that's what they've done here. But I guess the question is, where do those people go? Because they have to go somewhere, and it's like, wherever those people are going, why wouldn't I guess they're putting COVID patients there. I'm not sure if it's COVID patients that actually need medical attention, or if they're just people who are testing positive. Oh, okay. So we can answer that question straight away. So we can see here, so millions are confined to their homes as Shanghai battles a fresh outbreak of the virus. Anyone who tests positive is placed in quarantine. Now, okay, I'll get that, placed in quarantine, but it sounds as though they're placed in quarantine in a special place. They can't just stay at home and be in quarantine, like to self-isolate or to keep isolating in your home. I don't know why they would do that. I wonder if this is I don't know if there's a problem with people getting vaccinated or something. Maybe there's not enough people who are vaccinated, so they still need to take these measures or something. I'm not sure. But they're saying 20,000 new cases a day. So more than 20,000 new cases a day. And they're struggling to find space. Well, of course, I guess so it must be everyone who just tests positive has to be going to a special facility or this particular place. Here's an interesting word. So the city in recent weeks has converted exhibition halls and schools into quarantine centers and set up makeshift hospitals. Makeshift. There's a nice word. So makeshift being temporary, or places that are not normally hospitals, but they convert them into a hospital. So they bring in whatever equipment and stuff might be needed for it to be a hospital. So yeah. Oh, okay. And then I guess the next sentence is what I was saying. So the low numbers of serious cases in Shanghai. And people are asking whether the lockdown is necessary. Okay, that's interesting. Interesting, I guess, how different places, different countries and cities, how they handle, well, I guess different situations. But I guess with COVID, you can see a common situation around the world. Not exactly the same everywhere, but sort of more or less. Okay. So that's interesting. And certainly, what I would say is that if you read articles like this, you can see nice, interesting language. Well, I guess any article, you can see nice, interesting language, and you can probably highlight and look for definitions of word. I think first, always try and check if you can read the rest of the story, and if there are any words you're not sure about, first of all, see if you can at least understand the meaning of the overall article, and then perhaps work out the meaning of the word that you see or that you're not sure about, just from the rest of the context. Is the way to do it, and then later go to the dictionary and look for a definition. Try with a definition in English first, and then look for a definition or a translation in your native language or another language that you're comfortable with, to see if there's a better way to understand the concept. Because of course, different words and expressions can have different meanings with different combinations, or have multiple meanings. But then as well, I would say try and limit the amount of words that you're studying to maybe like 4 or 5, not too many, like per day. Per day. And if you do that per day, over the year, you're still getting a huge amount of words. Like you still get a very good amount of vocabulary. So it's not a problem. But what I mean is, you get 4 or 5 words, and you try and practice them. You try and speak with them. You try and write with those words or expressions or whatever it is. Of course, the context has to be appropriate. What you're talking, you can't just sort of randomly say a sentence, or add in a word that doesn't make sense. So you try, obviously, to put it into context, and try and actively use those words for like that day, the next day, and then as necessary as time goes on, but trying to review them. So perhaps after a week, you just do a quick review of the words for that week. But every new day, you have 5 new words or expressions that you're actively trying to use. So, all right. So there's more. Okay. So the other news tends to. Okay. So they've actually have, I guess, quite a mix of stories. So we've got more COVID related stories. Of course, that's been the big story, I guess, over the last 3 years. Then there's a Twitter story. So something in relation to social media and Elon Musk. And then another story about cancer research. There's always stories, I guess, about cancer research in a way. There always seems to be some developments, but not a breakthrough, it seems. And then more sporting news. This is the UK. I assume the BBC have a UK and an international edition. I'm not sure, but certainly here they've got. Okay, well, one is like live text, the one in the middle, where you can follow the stories of whatever is happening in the world of cricket in the UK on that day or today, and also that the captain of the cricket team has resigned. Okay. And then I guess here with this Reel section, the most amazing videos from BBC. Okay, so this seems to be lots of random stories. This is sort of like, I guess, if you look at like Reels and Shorts and that sort of stuff on different sort of social media, those short videos. So we've got talking about surgery for the butt, a word band in the in the bedroom, and then a crystal cave and the mysteries. So it's like a random combination of stories. And now we're really getting into random stuff. So a little bit with Nicolas Cage. It's the culture section. They've got business news. Look at the news. So blood money, hackers with crypto, bribes, and debt defaults. The default, when you have a debt default, that's when someone, or in this case a country, doesn't pay back their debt. So if they need to make an installment or payments for different debt they have, they don't pay, is when you default. Because with default, I guess the more common definition you would see of default is like when you have the setting. So you have like a phone or a computer or something, or a TV or something. The default settings are the ones that are were from the factory. Yeah, so it's like the original settings are the default settings. And then, of course, with most things, you can change them to whatever you prefer. But that's, I guess, more commonly where you will see default. There are other definitions as well, but this is one of those other ones where when you default is you don't pay, you miss a payment or something. And then they're talking about Easter, because in the Christian calendar they're having Easter, and Muslims in the world are still, I think they're halfway through Ramadan. Well, I guess being halfway through the month, so that would make sense. So so halfway through Ramadan, and so lots of faiths are having, I guess, celebrations or big events, let's say, at the moment. And so that's, I guess, in a lot of countries then that would dominate the feeling. So lots of people will have either reduced work or days off or holidays for a while. Some places, I think they have it like for a week, or for Ramadan. It could be for the whole month, depending on the type of business. Maybe they close down or have very reduced hours. And so maybe for the case of Easter, like we said, maybe it's a week, maybe it's a couple of extra days. I think in like some countries, that maybe they have like Thursday, Friday as like a public holiday. Other places, Friday, Monday, and other places could be the whole week. So it's a different case. And then we've got lots of different stories, I guess. There's been a few animal stories. So life skills your dog needs, and there's boom time for dog walkers, sitters, and trainers. And I think that's probably true as well. I have seen in a few different places where the amount of people doing dog walking or facilities to whatever, wash pets, look after them, whatever they might be. So boom time, meaning business. There's lots of business, and it's very popular at this time. Is this particular headline here? So boom time for dog walkers. So obviously walking the dog. Sitters is looking after them when maybe you go on holiday or something and you need someone to mind the dog, look after the dog. It's a nice couple of words there. Let's get them down. So to mind an animal, so whatever it is, to mind, to look after an animal, and it's like to care for, I guess, is the other one, an animal. So we're talking about, well, I guess with a dog, we're talking about feeding, walking, and cleaning, I guess, maybe brushing the dog, maybe like shampooing and stuff, however regularly that needs to happen, and whatever needs to be done, but to sit, yeah, to dog sit. You have sitting. For example, you also have another type of sitting, or I guess the two most common. Well, certainly the most common would be babysit. Put the verb in. So to babysit, that's obviously to look after. It's not necessarily a baby, even though it's in the name, but maybe you have kids, and maybe you're going away, you're going to a dinner or something, or a function, and you need someone to look after the kids. You get someone to babysit the kids. And sort of in a similar way, you could also house sit. So similar, like if you're again going away on holidays or something, normally I guess it's for a longer sort of period. So maybe it's like maybe from a week to a month to months. I've heard of people doing it like for over years, to house it, and it's basically to make a house or a property or a home lived in when they house it. So I mean, I don't know how common that is where you live for people to house sit, um, but certainly I know of people that do that in what do and have done that in different places. I remember there used to be. This is like quite a while ago. I'm not sure if it's still much of a thing, but I remember there used to be websites for house sitting, and basically it was sort of, well, not, it's more of a register, I guess. Well, I was going to say social media, but it's more of a register for people who want to house sit, and could be individuals or couples or something. And they would register, and say, I'm willing to do it. And people could then review all the different people on the register, get in contact with them and say, we're going away for July. Um, would you be interested? Are you able to look after our house, to house sit in our property? Um, and yeah, so basically, and then they say obviously yes or no or whatever, and then they go there. And I think it used to be a thing where like some people would go like from house to house to house, so never paying. It's a free transaction, if you like, or maybe like if you're using a service like the registry and stuff, maybe you need to pay a fee with that. But the actual sitting in the house is for free. And normally the people who own the property would pay for the electricity and all that sort of stuff. I guess within reason, as we could say that. So they would pay for the bills within reason. So we say the bills. Okay, so when we say within reason, because I guess they could say that because maybe someone is house sitting and they have everything switched on at the same time. So they're baking every day, making fresh bread every day. So they're using the oven every day, and then they've got the TV on, and like I don't know, every single device is on, and so the electricity bill is really high. Or they have long showers every day, or have a bath every day, or whatever. And so they're using a lot of water and that sort of thing. And so when they see the bills, maybe the people might go, the owners may go, normally the bill would be a bit lower than this. This is quite excessive for what we would normally expect or normally pay. So then if it's excessive, they may say, okay, we want you to pay a portion of this. So maybe pay the difference. You're going to pay the difference. So maybe the normal bill is, I don't know, 40, and this bill was 60, so they pay the difference. So they pay the $20 as an example. Okay, so what are we talking? We're talking about sitting, aren't we? That's right. So sitting. So they have people here, I guess, looking after dogs when people are going away or perhaps busy and they just need like a break, for example, for a week or something, maybe to catch up on work. They've been very busy, or whatever the case may be. And then, of course, here they're talking about trainers as well. So people uh, teaching good habits, I suppose, to dogs, or trying to get them not to bark if they're seeing other dogs and walking on the street or around the place or in the park. The dogs are barking all the time, maybe to try and get the dogs to not react so much. Or like we can see that dog in the background there. So there were a few of the dogs sitting when you say sit, and that sort of thing. Or sit in whatever language, perhaps could be around. Okay, but yeah, okay. So interesting. So different sorts of stories available there. But yeah, okay. So lots of different stories to see there. So okay, so interesting. So, and I guess like we say, with all of those sorts of stories, it's always a good starting point to begin conversation, talking about different things. As we always say, using the question words: who, what, when, where, why, how, and like we say, just whatever type of question, and going then deeper into that. So maybe looking at the obvious questions, like maybe who is it, what is happening, when did it happen, or when will it happen if it's in the future, where is it, why is this happening, and then go to deeper discussion about those sorts of things. Is a good thing. Okay, so just a quick reminder. So this program is Have a Tea with Me. This channel is Lesson Jigsaw, and we are here for English language conversation practice. So if you're learning English and you want to practice your speaking and conversation skills, we're here every day, Monday to Friday at 12 o'clock Universal Time for you to practice. And if you want to get in contact with us, you can always send us an email, chat on lessonjigsaw@gmail.com. Send us an email, and if there's a better time or a more preferred time for you that you'd like to practice English or whatnot, send us an email. Let us know where you are in the world, your local time zone, and what times and days might be better for you to practice, and we can see if we can arrange a live stream with you. Okay, we're going to leave it there for today. What is today? It's the 15th of April when this live stream is going out in most parts of the world. So thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all those sorts of things, and we will see you the next time. Have a great weekend, rest of the day, end of the day, whatever the situation is in your part of the world. Thank you very much for watching, and take care, and good luck practicing your English. See you later. Bye.